Hey, I'm Kim. I'm like the world. I'm from planet Earth. No, I'm Kim. I'm from Ireland originally. I was born there, and now I live in Australia for like 16 years, and I've been on this land since the start of the year.
How long have you been in your van?
I reckon around 3 years. It was never meant to happen. I did like the New Zealand, like get a camper van thing, hated it. But I wanted to travel a lot. I looked up the calculations of like, what if I went to a hotel every fortnight? That's a lot of money to check in at 2 p.m. and check out at 10 a.m. And I was like, maybe I could camp. And I was like, who am I kidding myself? I am never gonna set up a tent. So that's where I started to entertain the idea. But it took me months to like really visualize like, am I functionally going to actually like sleeping in it?
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to empty a toilet, all of that. So I was like visualizing the whole like, is this going to be a good use of money? And then I bought it. It's 2.5 wide and 6 meters long, or it's 5. I call it 6 because normally I have bikes in the back. So when I'm paying for like boats with transport and stuff, I picked it based on my budget. At the time I was willing to put a certain amount in, and also I thought about the lifestyle that I wanted. So I didn't want a toilet, I didn't want a shower because I didn't want to have to clean that stuff. This is sink, but for me it's just storage where like basically things don't slide.
So it's
anywhere.
not running water?
No, but it could have it if I set it up.
Nice sunscreen choice.
Yeah, bug spray and takeaway coffee.
Like what's in my sink tour? Not what's in my bag.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fridge.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't really work.
Can we open the fridge?
Oh god, it might be moldy.
This is the reality.
Oh, it's
nice.
not moldy. Yeah, I eat out. The fridge broke when I moved to the island.
Okay.
So I was basically at a campsite and I used their fridges, but now I buy anything that like I don't have to cook, or I can just cook on a little camp stove, wherever that is. That's where the cooker should go.
Okay.
And it normally sits there, you flip that up. This is like storage in here. Basically, when I travel, I just go to secondhand bookstores everywhere. So that's my library. Okay, so bed.
Okay.
Basically,
what size mattress is this?
I think that's a double bed.
Okay.
Yeah. I've definitely had like another friend sleeping in there multiple times and we've had a great time. Yeah, go for it. Hey guys. So, I'm now at the end of the bed. I always have it set up as a bed, but you can actually fold it into a table and chairs, like 2 benches and table. I'm so tall that I hit my head off this, so it's not very convenient for me. Underneath here and here is like the 2 benches, so storage. So I just have toys in there, and I have where you are is like things like oil, an axe, all the kind of maintenance things that I might need. Storage up here.
I see the storage up here.
So this is something I highly recommend. I'm tall, but being able to stand in a van is fucking insanely like good, because if you're in wet weather, like you don't want to just be lying, trying to change your clothes, like when you can't stand in a van is really difficult.
Let's see if I can. I'm short, so I could probably stand. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can as well, which is bonus.
How tall are you?
180, 180
Okay, I'm like 160 centimeters.
Yeah.
So when you say you didn't like it in New Zealand, what didn't you like about it?
Oh god, the showering, having to check in and out of campsites, it was just too rigid, and really it was just challenged my perception of what I knew about living at the time. I thought like a house was this, like what you lived in looked a certain way, it was a certain size, it had certain like amenities to it. So I'd never challenged that thinking before. The reality is not luxury. I don't have a toilet. Like I do not have my basic human needs. 5 weeks ago, I was just like, what the fuck? Like I felt funky in myself. All I could say was, I need a bed. Like I was just crying. I was like, I need a bed, I need a bed. I booked into a hotel to sort it out. I have to think every day, where am I going to go to the toilet? Where is my shower? How am I planning my food? Because I don't have the cooker or anything set up.
So where do you go to the bathroom and shower?
I cycle to the local like beachfront. Like, it's 3 minutes on my electric bike. Like then I had to train myself for the toilet because I don't want to pee in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
The van is temporary now. Like it'll be, I don't want to hurt its feelings by disclosing anything it's not aware of yet, but like I'm going to be living in a house soon,
Yeah.
like when it's built,
Yeah.
And I think this will be like art studio. So basically it's like a little room. Everything that I want to play with will be here. Sewing machine, paints, all that sort of jazz. This is a big deck attached to a 1-bedroom home. It'll be, like just sofa, dining table, little kitchen, bedroom. And then there's a little gap. And then under that tree will be a second property. And this is for long-term rental people on the island. So it's going to be a 1-bedroom place as well. And that will be a source of income to pay my bills.
Nice.
And that is the
good 'cause that's how
van.
you can control your life and time.
Yeah. It was never my dream to own a property. I never wanted a home. I wanted to travel. Like, I've loved traveling since I was a teenager. Anytime I get a calling to go, I go. I book flights, whatever it is. And I never entertained the idea of owning something because I was like, that's a waste of money. The bank takes so much money if I have a mortgage. So I don't want it. I was traveling, came to the island, traveled from Brisbane. It's like 15 hours road trip up. And I was like, wow, this is boring. But when I got to the island, I loved the island. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'd probably come back here, but I wouldn't I don't know if I'll travel all the way up here again. There was an opportunity to come up. And when I came up that second time, it was like, I loved the island's nature, like all the beaches. It has everything that kind of makes me a happy person. And then the people on top of it were like an added bonus. I had a friend at the time, she showed me, just made me think differently about what a house is, what you can do with things, upcycling, what you can do with spaces. That was a whole new world to me. And she started running the figures. Like, if you buy a house, you can rent this out, da-da-da-da. And I was like, that's interesting. And I remember leaving the island, I was a few hours south, and I was like, I'm coming back here. I even went to Paris because I love Paris culture and the museums. I went there to check it out. I was like, nah, it's not. It's definitely the island. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a property and I'm gonna create my playground. My ultimate life, it's gonna be in one spot. What does that look like? And then it was buy a block of land. And literally the minute the decision came, it was just like, doof, 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 everything slipstreamed into place.
I've heard you mention before tiny homes. Are they going to be set up as the tiny home type of structure? Yeah. I feel like I've seen them around the island.
Yeah, it's small. And tiny home makes it cute, but really it's just what do I need in a home?
Yeah.
So that's what I've designed it on, basically. And
So all these poles mark your land?
Yeah, so that one down to there is mine, basically. So we're looking at a rectangle.
Nice.
I just wanted to own my life, and it was like, what's anything that doesn't allow me to own my life? Get rid of it and collect all the things that are. Where can I wake up in the world and be fulfilled every day? Because it brings every single thing that I love in my life to my day. Instead of going out there, I just want to bring them here.
Traveling alone in a van. Have you been into some safety situations, or how do you keep yourself safe as a solo traveler?
Honestly, number one rule is mindset. The minute you start listening to stories and things like that, you can get really in your head. Female, alone, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. People want to tell you stories you should be careful, blah, blah, blah. So you just don't listen or entertain those stories. So number one is just rule it out, eliminate it from your mind. These curtains are amazing because they're block out. So basically no one can see in. But some of them, they have see-through curtains, so you can kind of see when the light's on at nighttime who's in it. I lock this side door, so this one, when it's closed, you can't open it. So there's only one way in and out, and I lock the door just for peace of mind. In Australia, free camping is it's state by state, so you can't always just park up anywhere, especially in Queensland. It's really, really hard, very remote. And for me, the thought of someone knocking on my door, and they do it, and even on the island, they split your tires for free camping, so you don't want to get, obviously that's a very big, just follow the rules in Australia, definitely. Yeah. I am safe, and I've never had I've had people tell me weird stories, and then I'm like, yeah, and you just say, I'm traveling north, when really you're going south or whatever. But, nah, it's a mindset, I would say.
I like this. Wait, I didn't even see you have some greenery up here.
That's the mini aesthetics. So I bought the van, and it was all grey. It had little ladybug curtains. An old lady and her dog used to live in it. I basically did some cosmetic changes, but it's a lot to renovate them in
Yeah.
terms of effort, planning. Like, it looks great on the internet when you do
Yeah.
like the van life tours and the insulation, all that, but it's a lot. Like, you're not into it, don't do it. So I wanted everything ready. And like some brilliant, whoever had this before her was like a well-seasoned traveler, because like when you go up hills, potholes, things move, but everything in this is locked down, so nothing's really falling.
Yeah. So that could also be something good for people to consider as far as cost goes. Like, how much are you going to do versus already buy that's done?
Yeah. It's about thinking about, what am I willing to waste in money? What's the likelihood of the van breaking down? It's going to happen. This lifestyle, if it fucking lights me up every single day, the petrol is the last thing I think about. I have like money rules, and one of my money rules is that money is the last deciding factor on something. I go to a restaurant, I order what I want, not the meal that's based on I can afford that.
When did you start to work on adapting to that mindset?
2 years and 2 months. I remember exactly when it was. And everyone around me just kept saying, oh, I don't have time. I don't have money to do this activity. I really want to travel. I don't have money. I can't get time off work. And I was like, fuck, that's very limiting. So therefore I was like, shit, that's around me. I literally that day was like, I earn an abundance of money and I have an abundance of time. I'm running on solar, which is really good. So I can get probably a day and a half out of my solar, but I don't really tend to use it that much, just if I have to. But yeah, like I can use my laptop, all that sort of stuff.
Have you ever had to use the fire extinguisher?
No, but that's because I don't cook.
How does the solar setup work?
So
Do you have a solar panel on the...
yeah, so you'll see one here.
You know, you say it's small, but there's a lot of things that I can't just see from looking at it. I have to go on the other side.
I love it. Thank you. So there's one there and one up there. So technically it's two, which is a pretty decent setup.
What is this for?
This is for children. No, jokes. People say it's for kangaroos and stuff, but even it's actually really good just for stones. On the island, I actually have 2 SIM cards because like some parts of the island, we don't have certain internet and I need it for my business. So hotspot here, thankfully the internet's sweet on both networks, so it's really special. But otherwise I'm going to co-working spaces and working at backpackers basically. Luckily one of them you can get like, it's pretty quiet, so if I need to run workshops and stuff for clients, it's all good. The table's new. Before that I'm like sitting fucking on the grass here, like having business meetings. So if my clients knew that, hopefully they don't see it, but if they saw it, it would be very, very funny.
Oh my god.
If I died today, I'd be so stoked because I'd have no regrets. I have a phenomenal life, and I've had a phenomenal life consistently every day for at least a year. It's because I live the life that I want to live. So I go where I want to go. I go when I want to go. So the ability to go, you know what, I feel like literally that cheesecake from the cafe in Sawtell in New South Wales, okay, let's drive 3 hours, that's the next location. I'm just so free, and the van is the freedom of that.